For the ginger cardamom tea, that is the adrak chai, I'm taking 1 cup of water to the saucepan. To this, add 1 piece of ginger, nicely pound. You can either just add the ginger or you can just add 1 cardamom to give it a very mild flavor. So I'm just adding 1 cardamom pod. Boil the water for about a minute. To this, add 2 teaspoons of tea powder. So if you'd like it nice and strong, you can add another extra spoon. After adding the tea, let it boil for about 2 minutes. Now I'm going to add 3/4 cup of milk. Keep the flame on medium and allow the tea to boil. The tea has come to a good boil. Add the sugar. I'm adding 1.5 teaspoons of sugar. You can adjust the sugar according to your taste. After 1 boil, turn off the stove. Strain the tea and serve it hot. Sliced 4 medium-sized onions for this recipe. So now I have the sliced onions. To this I'm going to add finely chopped green chilli 1, finely chopped curry leaves a few, finely chopped coriander leaves a few. To this I'm going to add 1.5 teaspoons of salt, 1 teaspoon chilli powder, 1 teaspoon ginger garlic paste. After adding all these ingredients, mix the onions along with the masalas. So by mixing the onions, you can see all the onion slices are separated beautifully and the masala is coating the slices very nicely. So you need all the flavors in while making these bondas. Now that you've done this, next I'm going to add the gram flour and the rice flour. So next I've added 1 cup of gram flour and 3/4 cup of rice flour. Mix everything together. Next, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of hot oil. After adding the oil, gently mix it. Then gradually pour water and mix everything together. Next, I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. Now this is optional. If you don't want, you don't have to add this. Take a little bit of the onion mixture, roll it in your palm, make it into a nice even ball size. So you can see how big this is. Take a kadai, pour enough oil for deep frying. Heat the oil. Once the oil is hot, bring the flame to a medium-low. Make sure to maintain the temperature throughout. Gently start dropping the prepared bonda mixture. Deep fry them till they get a nice golden brown color. Once they come to a nice golden brown color, remove them from the oil and serve it hot with some nice chutney or as is. For the chili bhaji, I've taken these large bhaji chilies. Now make sure you cut it in the middle. If you like it spicy, you don't have to remove the seeds. But if you do like it less spicy, then you can remove the seeds and just make the bhajis. So I've decided to keep the seeds today because I'm going to make these nice and spicy considering the nice cold weather. Make sure you make the slit in the center, otherwise they can burst while deep frying them. the plantain bhaji, I've taken 2 plantains. They should be nice and green. First I'm going to remove the skin. So just gently slice it with your knife. If you want these as a whole, you can cut them like this. But if you don't want to make such long plantain bhajis, you can cut them into half. So I'm cutting into nice thin slices. If you have a slicer, you can also use that to slice the plantain. I'm just going to put these in salt water till I deep fry them. For the batter, I've taken 2 cups of besan or gram flour. Next, add 1/4 cup of rice flour. Now I'm going to season it with 3 teaspoons of red chilli powder. Now you can adjust the spice according to your taste. I'm adding 3 teaspoons of Kashmiri red chilli powder, 1 teaspoon salt, 1/4 teaspoon asafoetida powder or hing. If you want, you can add a little bit of cooking soda, it's optional. And also, if you like, you can add the coloring agent, the orange color. I'm not adding either of these in this recipe. Now gradually pour water. Add water little at a time to get the right consistency. So you don't want it too runny or too thick. Using a whisk to mix the batter will be easy. So it'll be well blended. So this is a good consistency. It's not too thick or too runny. So the batter for the bhajis are ready. Keep it aside. Heat some oil for deep frying. Once the oil is hot, dip the plantain slices in the batter and gently drop it into the hot oil. Next, dip the chili bhaji in the batter. And gently drop it into the hot oil. Deep fry them till you get a nice golden brown color and remove them from the oil. So first I'm going to separate the egg yolks and the egg whites. Take 2 bowls. So make sure you do this very carefully. And also make sure the eggs are in room temperature when baking the cake. You don't want it right out of the refrigerator. Every time you bake cakes using eggs, make sure the eggs are in room temperature. So once you've separated the egg whites, gently drop the egg yolks into another bowl. Keep them aside. Sift 2 cups of maida, that is all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon baking soda, add a pinch of salt, to a large bowl, add 2 cups of powdered sugar. This is a 250 ml cup. So take about 250 ml of ghee for this recipe. Using an electric mixer, cream the sugar and ghee. Next, add 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence. Add 1 egg yolk at a time and beat it nicely. Make sure it's mixed well into the sugar and ghee mixture. So once you've creamed all the egg yolks, next add the flour. Now add the flour little at a time and incorporate it into the cake batter. To another bowl, add the egg whites. We're going to whisk this separately. Add 2 teaspoons of sugar. Using a hand whisk, just whisk it nicely till it becomes light and foamy. So you need to whisk it nicely till the egg whites become light and foamy like this. You form soft peaks. Look at that. So the egg whites are ready. I'm going to incorporate the egg whites into the cake batter. Add the whisked egg whites little at a time and mix it into the cake batter. So we're going to gradually mix the egg whites into the batter little at a time. So make sure it's incorporated well. You don't want to beat the cake batter with a beater. After adding the egg whites, you have to gradually incorporate it using a spatula. So you can see the cake batter is ready. I've incorporated all of the egg whites into the cake batter. It's become nice and creamy now. So I've folded it in. Now that the cake batter is ready, preheat the oven at 180 degrees for about 15 minutes. So I have lined the cake tin with butter paper. Now transfer the prepared cake batter into the cake tin. So there are 2 options. You can either bake the cake as is, or you can just garnish it with a few almond slices, or you can even add some chopped cashew nuts if you like, just to give it a little crunch. Again, this is optional. Bake the cake at 180 degrees for 1 hour. Wow, the cake has baked perfectly. Make sure you cool the cake completely before you remove it from the tin. So now I'm going to remove it from the tin. I'm going to remove all the butter paper that's sticking to the cake. Make sure you remove it gently if you're using butter paper. This ghee cake is a very rich and moist cake and everybody will definitely enjoy this. It's a perfect cake to be had with coffee or tea. So that's a perfectly beautiful ghee cake where it's so moist and soft inside, and it's got this lovely crumbly texture on top.